Chelsea fans understandably excited about the number of players they've been linked with and indeed the signings that they have already established. Craig Burley with us to look ahead to the start of their new season. But Jan, I want to start with you. Kai Havertz, is this almost done?
Almost done, and two clubs that are using another strategy than a lot of other clubs. I won't name any. They're doing it very quietly, Leverkusen and Chelsea. We knew in the week that they were not far away from each other, and today there was more or less the unofficial confirmation that they have agreed on in euro then 80 plus 10 plus 10, meaning that they get an initial fee of 80 million euro and then they will get add-ons based on Champions League and trophies. And it's a funny deal because Chelsea are going ballistic, aren't they, and buying players from Germany who score goals.
They are indeed. We know Jan hates Manchester United. That was a subtle dig there that wasn't too subtle.
Jan, don't do that to me. I'm just saying, when there is a deadline, if a club say there is a deadline, so please give a bid before that deadline. It can't be that hard, can it?
Craig, Kai Havertz, it's a lot of money for an obviously excellent player. Is it the right move for Chelsea?
Well, listen, when is bringing some of the most talented youngsters in Europe ever a bad move to your football club? Look, we know there are other issues and other positions in the team that need to be addressed. We're going to talk about that as well, and there are other transfer targets out there for Chelsea. I mean, we could rattle on about the goalkeeping position for 24 hours. But, you know, what this is, on top of what has already been spent and agreed, this is a huge vote of confidence for a young manager. This is an ownership and a board saying, OK, we like what you've done so far, but we think you can take it to the next level. So we're going to absolutely back you, as Jan said, go ballistic. And we're going to go after some of the best young talent in Europe. So this is a huge shot in the arm for Frank Lampard and Jody Morris.
At the back, we've talked a lot about how they need reinforcements. That seems to be in the form of Thiago Silva, Jules.
Yes, that's right. I expect him to become a Chelsea player, to sign a 2-year deal, whether it's a 1+1 or a straight 2 years. That still remains to be seen. There's still a few details to sort out contract-wise, but he's on a free. He wanted to still play at a high level, which means the Champions League, which, for example, a club like Fiorentina, who also made him an offer, cannot bring him because they're not in the Champions League, unlike Chelsea. And I think he really liked the idea of going to Chelsea, discovering a new league in the Premier League, living in London as well, of course, and being in that competitive environment of playing to win things, playing to compete for the Premier League title, playing in the Champions League as well. And I think if you go and get Havertz, plus Timo, Werner and Ziyech and Chilwell, and you still look at your centre-back and you Frank Lampard and you Chelsea, you Marina Granovskaya, you think, okay, there's two things. Either you go for a quick fix, and I think Thiago Silva ticks all those boxes. It's a quick fix. He's got so much experience. He's still really fit, as we've seen in the final of the Champions League. Great personality, great character in the dressing room. Lovely, lovely guy, no problem. Or you go for a longer fix. Right now, you don't have the money for a long fix. You only have money for a quick fix. Someone free who will come in, do a good job, and then you reassess that position in 6 months or 12 months time, and you go and get Upamecano, you go and get, I don't know, Skriniar, De Vrij, Koulibaly, whoever you want, but someone who is bigger and younger than Thiago Silva. But I think for now, considering you've spent all your money on your forwards, then I think it works.
Why PSG letting him go, Jules?
It's hard to understand. Thomas Tuchel really wanted to keep him, and there was a lovely image last night after when they got their medals, where Tuchel and Thiago, just in front of the cup as well, just in front of the trophy, had a huge hug. And Tuchel said after the game, I want to keep him. I wanted to keep him. Leonardo didn't think the same. He's 36 next month, Thiago Silva. And after 8 years, I think Leonardo thought it's time to move on. It's time to bring someone younger with maybe a different profile, different potential even. And that's why I would have kept him personally. But maybe because I'm more from the heart than from the brain.
An old romantic, Jules, much like Craig Burley, obviously. Craig, where do you stand on this? Does this make sense?
It does make sense, but look, the guy can defend, right? He's just been part of a team that's got to the Champions League final and lost to the best team on the planet at the moment in Bayern Munich. So for all the reasons that Jules mentioned, it does make sense. Look, we've talked about the centre-half position, all the other guys are out there chasing the top players as well. So you've got to get in quick, make a decision, make an offer, sort that position out, and then worry about it in 12 to 18 months' time about filling it again. You can't sit in your backside and watch him go somewhere else and then start looking about for other centre-halves of that quality and experience, because there ain't many out there. There is just not. And on top of that, you got the Chilwell potential signing it's going to cost, and they're going to need to find a goalkeeper, right? I cannot see for a moment that they're going to go into next year with Kepa or Willie Caballero as the #1 goalkeeper at the club. So they're going to have to find a goalkeeping position as well. So it makes sense to me. It's not ideal signing a 36-year-old, but it's a fit 36-year-old who's got good character, great experience, and by the way, can still play.
Craig, you look at this then. You mentioned the Chilwell signing, the potential. You look at this starting 11 for Chelsea. Is it good enough to push Liverpool all the way?
Well, there'll be a few Chelsea fans saying, and I saw some of it at the end of the season with Chilwell. You know, do we really want him? And that because he didn't have a good second half of the season after injuries. The first half he was pretty good, but I think the Ben Chilwell the real Ben Chilwell is a potential top drawer left back. He has everything that you need, and the pace, the great left foot, and the engine to get up and down. So, although Chelsea fans, I saw them were saying, well, I'm not sure he's going to big improvement on Alonso. He is. We just didn't see it last year. The answer to your question is, on paper, listen, Roman Abramovich and his people are not going to lay out this kind of money, this kind of commitment, and this kind of backing to Frank Lampard and see them sit there trying to punch a hole and getting into 4th place. That's not what it's all about. They expect this team to compete, and I would expect it to at least have a chance to compete with Liverpool and Manchester City, because 2 reasons. One, there's a hell of a lot of talent in there. If they do get all these signings, they've got the experience. We're going to worry about the goalkeeping position, but arguably as important, Dan, and City have done it and Liverpool have done it in the last year or 18 months. They've really bolstered their bench, because this is going to be a real fight for places in this Chelsea team. So Frank Lampard not only can put out a very good first 11, if things are not going well, he can turn around to his bench and go, oh, there's 3 or 4 game changers I can bring on. That's a great thing to have for a manager.
Big boy time, isn't it now for Frank Lampard? Jan, no more excuses.
Well, you see the trend now. They get these former players, these young players, and I think that still will be hard for Chelsea to be up there with Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola, because Frank Lampard, I like Frank Lampard. He's a great lad. He's doing well, but he doesn't have the same experience as Guardiola and Liverpool. And even if you have the great individuals in there, you still have to gel them into, first of all, a team. Fair point from Craig that there will be an unbelievable competition for places to play being in that starting 11, but you have to find a way to play. If you see Bayern, they have a way to play. Manchester City, you know the way of playing, same with Liverpool. And I think that Frank Lampard will have to learn quickly, because I think that Lampard was much easier for him before last season, when he didn't have the expectation because he couldn't buy any players. Now he will get some of the best around, and he has to produce. And that is the tough part of that job, even for a Frank Lampard or Arteta or Solskjaer or Coleman, this new trend of taking on former players to be your ambassador and your coach.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.